Sini sudah sore, Pak, di Manado, Pak.
Wah, selamat sore Pak Tri. Oke. Oke, mungkin saya mute terlebih dahulu ya Pak. Oke, untuk agenda hari ini kita akan mulai dengan company profile dan perkenalan Trimitra Electric yang akan dibawakan oleh Pak Rianto. Kemudian kita akan langsung mulai ke company profile TESMAC dan offer-offer apa saja yang dia tawarkan, termasuk mesin-mesin barunya yaitu CLP dan Digital Machine 4.0. Dan juga yang pasti aksesorisnya yang TESMAC bisa support. Kemudian kita akan masuk juga mengenai requirement IC ya untuk stringing machine dan tools terhadap IC guidelines, dan setelah itu mungkin saya akan memberikan kesimpulan ya dalam bahasa Indonesia sedikit mengenai konten hari ini. Nah, setelah itu saya ada sesi Q&A. Nah, untuk dalam sesi Q&A ini silahkan taruh pertanyaan di dalam chat. Nah, supaya dalam chat kita menghindari untuk langsung berbicara ya, karena takut tumpang tindih. Jadi dari situ mungkin sebaiknya kita dari chat saja. Kemudian setelah Q&A kita akan adakan quiz. Nah, quiz ini kita akan gunakan platform www.menti.com. Akan saya taruh di chat juga supaya semua bisa mungkin lihat-lihat ya. www.menti.com. Nah, pas saat Q&A, pas saat quiz ini, saya akan berikan passwordnya atau kodenya untuk masuk di menti.com. Nah, dari situ silakan Bapak mohon untuk gunakan nama asli dan nama yang cantum dalam registrasi, karena akan saya lihat dari situ, dan saya akan menghubungi Bapak lewat list registrasi tadi itu. Jadi bagi Bapak, Ibu yang belum registrasi, silakan registrasi terlebih dahulu di www.trimitra.electric.com/events. Nah, mungkin Bapak juga bisa lihat dari sini, akan saya tunjukkan sedikit mengenai Oke. Nah, di sini bisa trimitraelectric.com. Kemudian bisa ke events. Nah, terus ke webinar. Nah, di sini silakan Bapak Ibu registrasi untuk kuisnya, karena akan saya gunakan ini untuk menghubungi Bapak Ibu ya. Kemudian bagi Bapak Ibu yang belum dapat bergabung dengan kami minggu lalu atau 2 minggu lalu, Bapak Ibu juga bisa melihat rekamannya di website kami juga, di events, kemudian di recordings. Nah, di sini Bapak bisa lihat sesi pertama kita mengenai hardware fitting and substation connector, kemudian minggu lalu yaitu mengenai composite, toughened glass, and porcelain insulator. Nah, di sini Bapak Ibu bisa menonton ya sesi minggu lalu. Oke. Nah, untuk pertanyaan teknis tidak akan kami jawab hari ini, tapi kita ada sesi besok mengenai training untuk operasi dan perawatan mesin stringing Bapak Ibu. Jadi hari ini lebih ke komersial dan besok lebih ke training ya, untuk cara operasi, cara setup, dan perawatan mesin TESMAC yang akan dibawakan oleh teknisi Trimitra Electric sendiri, Pak Sidik, besok jam 9 pagi sampai 10.30. Nah, bagi Bapak Ibu yang ingin mengikuti, silakan registrasi di trimitraelectric.com/training. Nah, di sini adalah training kita untuk mesin TESMAC. Kemudian, untuk agenda webinar kami, di 29 April kemarin kita ada hardware fitting and substation connector. Kemudian minggu lalu kita ada composite, toughened glass, and porcelain yang dibawakan oleh Kensaki langsung dan dibawakan oleh Trimitra untuk mewakili Sediver dan TCI. Nah, minggu ini kita ada stringing machine and equipment yang langsung dibawakan oleh Amos Carrara dan Mr. Gianluca. Dan minggu depan, nah ini seharusnya tanggal 20, cuman 21-nya libur, kita majukan ke tanggal 18. Untuk minggu depan, Underground Cable Series akan dibawakan oleh Arkasi langsung, itu tanggal 18 ya, Senin. Untuk mempersingkat waktu, mungkin saya perkenalkan Pak Rianto untuk mengintroduce Trimitra Electric.
Baik, Pak Alvin. Oke. Sudah bisa kelihatan ya? Baik. Terima kasih Pak Alvin. Mungkin akan saya mulai untuk mempersingkat waktu, menjelaskan mengenai siapa itu Trimitra Electric. Kami adalah partner terpercaya untuk Bapak Ibu sekalian dalam bidang transmisi dan distribusi. Dan kami mewakili merek-merek internasional seperti Schneider Electric, Sikam, TCI, Tesmac, dan juga ada satu lokal brand Kensaki yang memproduksi polimer atau composite insulator di Indonesia dan sudah memiliki kelengkapan persyaratan yang dibutuhkan. Dan inilah brand-brand yang kami wakili saat ini, dan ini adalah merupakan merek-merek terkemuka di dunia dalam bidangnya masing-masing. Mereka sudah berpengalaman puluhan tahun dalam memproduksi peralatan-peralatan maupun produk-produk transmisi dan distribusi. Mengenai tim kami, jadi kalau Bapak Ibu sekalian memerlukan dukungan penjelasan mengenai produk-produk kami, bisa menghubungi sales kami, ada Pak Andika Wardani, ada Pak Alvin Rimas, ada Ibu Desi Octavia, itu dari sisi sales dan marketing. Dan untuk mengenai mesin Tesmac untuk perawatan, spare part, dan servis, juga untuk RTU distribusi, itu Pak Nur Muhammad Siddiq, teknisi kami. Untuk technical komersial, jadi untuk produk spesialis, pertanyaan mengenai produk, untuk mempersiapkan proposal ataupun offer, dan yang akan mengeksekusi, mengatur pengiriman dari pesanan-pesanan Bapak, itu adalah Pak Wahyu Yuliansyah. Dan Ibu Vini Lavesia untuk administrasi dan logistik. Inilah tim inti kami, tentu kami masih didukung dengan tim yang lainnya, tapi inilah tim inti yang akan berinteraksi dengan Bapak dan Ibu sekalian apabila ada kebutuhan, ada pertanyaan sehubungan dengan pelayanan prajual maupun purnajual. Beberapa project reference yang kami dapatkan di tahun 2018-2019, ini hanya sebagian kecil mewakili dari apa yang sudah kita dapatkan dalam 2 tahun terakhir, itu dari mulai kebutuhan glass insulator untuk penggantian beberapa proyek di Gunung Mulia, di Tanjung Jati untuk 150 kW, untuk di Kalimantan, di GI di Batang misalnya, dan di Sumatera pakai 1-2 untuk warning spare, ada juga di Sulu 3, Sino Hydro untuk pembangkit IPP, dan juga untuk composite insulator di temporary tower di Sumatera. Mesin-mesin stringing pun yang dibeli di tahun lalu itu oleh Tunas Karya Ditama untuk yang tipe kecil, Waskita Karya 2 set untuk pekerjaan di Sumatera, di Tramas, dan perawatan-perawatan mesin. Jadi kalau dilihat di sini sudah cukup banyak yang sudah kita kerjakan selama ini. Terima kasih atas dukungan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Semoga di tahun depan kita semakin bisa mendukung proyek-proyek Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Nah, untuk mengingatkan offer-offer yang ada di kami yang kami wakili, untuk peralatan atau produk-produk transmisi, hardware fitting dan insulator, kita memiliki Dervo untuk hardware fitting, itu dari mulai tension string set, suspension string set, damper, spacer, dan lain-lain. Dan juga tidak lupa ini untuk warning sphere dan warning light yang dibutuhkan untuk area-area berdekatan dengan penerbangan. Untuk substation gardu induk, kita juga memiliki dari Sikam Group juga dengan merek SPI. Ini segala jenis konektor yang diperlukan untuk gardu induk diproduksi oleh kami di beberapa plant kami di Spanyol, di India, dan di tempat lain. Dan produk yang kami miliki itu lengkap sekali, 500 kV. Untuk insulator, kami memiliki semua teknologi seperti Bapak Ibu ketahui, ada 3 macam teknologi insulator dari mulai keramik, toughened glass, dan komposit atau polimer insulator. Dan kita memiliki ketiga-tiganya dari merek-merek terpercaya. Untuk polimer atau komposit itu dari Kensaki, produksi Indonesia sepenuhnya. Untuk keramik, kita memiliki TCI, dan untuk toughened glass itu dari Sediver, Prancis. Jadi lengkap sekali, dan apapun teknologi yang dibutuhkan, kami bisa mendukung proyek Bapak dan Ibu sekalian. Nah, pada hari ini kita akan bawakan oleh tim dari Tesmek Italia langsung, itu offer yang lengkap untuk mesin stringing dari puller tensioner ataupun gabungan puller dan tensioner, baik yang dengan teknologi yang paling mutakhir 4.0, dan juga peralatan-peralatan bantu seperti tirfor, kamelong, pulling rope, mesin press hidrolik, dan bermacam-macam alat-alat lainnya. Nanti Bapak dan Ibu bisa juga download di katalog lengkap kami di website kami. Dan ini yang terakhir adalah untuk distribution automation untuk 20 kV. Jadi ini adalah untuk kebutuhan di gardu-gardu distribusi dari mulai fault indicator, remote terminal unit yang sudah dipakai di beberapa tempat di APD, dari tipe-tipe kami Talus 300, Saitel, DP, dan DR. Ini produk dari Schneider Electric. Demikian penjelasan sekilas mengenai Trimitra Electric, apa produk yang kami wakili, yang kami representasikan, dan kepada siapa mungkin Bapak dan Ibu bisa berhubungan dengan tim kami dari tim sales maupun dengan tim technical. Kalau ada informasi yang diperlukan bisa mengunjungi website kami www.trimitraelectric.com. Demikian penjelasan dari saya. Mungkin kesempatan berikutnya kita berikan kepada rekan saya Amos dari Tesmek Italia. Silakan Pak Alvin.
Terima kasih Pak Rianto. Jadi yang akan mulai ini Amos Carrara. Amos Carrara adalah sales manager, sales area manager, dan juga Mr. Gianluca, yaitu sales director dari Tesmek langsung. Untuk mempersingkat, saya perkenalan Amos. Halo Amos, are you there?
Yes, I am, Alvin.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon to all of you. It's a big pleasure for us to join you in this very interesting webinar, I hope. Due to the circumstances, I cannot be there because of the restriction of the COVID, which is an experience that you're having as well. But I think that thanks to this event organized by our partner from Trimitra, we are able to give you an update of all our solutions about stringing equipment point of view. My idea now is starting our presentation, giving the word to our sales director, Gianluca Cimino, who will give you a very quick view of Tesmek Group. Then we will jump quickly to the stringing equipment. We will put attention on the technical side, of course. So in that moment, Mr. Alberto Oscar will take the word. He is our chief engineer. He is part of many working groups. he is very aware about technical guidelines. So I think he will be able to provide very interesting details about required solution in the stringing equipment application nowadays. So I will suggest Gianluca to start. Gianluca, riesci a caricare la presentazione?
Yes, good morning everybody. Thank you very much for this webinar. I'm trying to share my desktop to show you the presentation. I don't know, Alvin, if it's required or if you do it. I suppose it's better if...
You are already the co-host. Do you see the share screen button below?
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So let's start. We don't have a lot of time, so I will go to this general introduction of the company. We are a company based in Italy and since more than 70 years existing, about 70 years. And we are more and more going to solution provider more than a manufacturer of products. And okay, I will go fast. We have 4 business units. Stringing is one of the 4, and the historical business unit of the company. We have the railway division that is fast growing in the last few years, where we manufacture machine, equipment, and solution for catenary installation and maintenance. We also have an automation division that is a small division for grid management devices for telecommunication and so on. And the trencher division that is at this stage our biggest division in terms of turnover. We have 8 production plants all over the world, even if mainly it is in Italy. We have 5 production plants only in Italy, maybe 6, yes, sorry, and 1 in USA, 1 in France. We are close to 1,000 people nowadays, and as you can see from these numbers, our focus is mainly overseas, so on the export. This is the history of the company with the main events. I would just say very important public company since 2010. So we are in the stock exchange market of Milan since 10 years now, and this was a big change for the company from family to be public. Then there are many other events that I will explain later, maybe. This is part of the automation that we can. Can you see my desktop? Can you follow? Okay.
Yes.
The railway solution, very important, very much, I would say, related to the stringing, because it started with stringing equipment for the railway. So it is born from the same technology of the tensioners, of the puller tensioners, like for the overhead lines, also for the railway. But from there, that is historically part of our manufacture. From there, since 7-8 years now, we have a big range of equipment with very, very different machinery for maintenance, for diagnostic, for many other activity than only the stringing. So you see there are some example of equipment and main projects in several countries. The trenchers. The trencher is a range of machine that we produce here in Italy and in USA. We can say that there is a main production of hard rock trenching equipment that we have historically that is merged with a company called Marais from France, where the orange color machine, by the way, that are more let's say urban for cable and fiber installation, and where we have also a service ability in few countries where we give this technology also on rental basis. This is just an example, but I will go quickly. What we call a 3I strategy, innovation, internationalization, and integration. It is for us, it is the heart of our life is the R&D. So is to innovate and to be always a little bit in the future compared to other manufacturers, because this is our life, I think, of many companies, that if we don't continuously innovate, we struggle on the market. So it is really part of our main life, let's say. The quality is our history. We can say that historically the technology from Tesmec, our machines, all the people are using it, these machines know very well how is our quality. And
porta pazienza.
Okay, let's start now with the stringing equipment itself, which is the heart of the day, I would say. So more interesting. Amos, if you want, you can carry on.
Okay, you keep the presentation, carry on. If you take a click when I say okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's jump into the core of the presentation. So Gianluca gave you a very complete overview of what we do now as Tesmec. So you saw we have 4 business units, but let me say that the stringing is our very core one. It's the one we started first. So it is our original business. We started in 1951 as a company, and starting from the end of the 50s, stringing equipment born up. So we have bilingual experience, and thanks to that, we have become, people say, world leader. During our story, we developed our proposal, which is based not only on the product itself, but we are able to provide our solution complete with a very wide range of boundary solution, which is concerning the financing, which is concerning the technical expertise service, which is concerning the education. We will see all of them during this presentation. Vai avanti, Giallo, per favore. Okay, this is the evolution of our machine, just to give you the idea of how our technology evolved along the decades. So in the very left and the up corner, you see how were the machines at that time. You see the reference to the Edison patent, which is the one we acquired in 1957, if I'm not wrong, making us the first worldwide able to manufacture stringing equipment. Until that time, before that time, the stringing was done in very primitive way. So there was no mechanical stringing basically. It was just, you know, linking the conductor back of the truck and slowly going along the line and then up and down on the towers and down, which made the whole process unbelievably long and unsafe and not performing. So that was a revolution. Tesmet was the first one taking care about that. We got the patent, we got the leadership, and thanks to that, we then developed our experience, making the machines more and more sophisticated and more performing. So you see moving from the pure mechanical, then to a hydraulic, then starting from the 2000, we put the electronic in that, making that, you know, step by step, more and more technological, until now we are get to the what we call machines 4.0, which is the last step of our evolution. We will give some information about that in the next slide. Okay. All our machines and equipment take in consideration the guidelines and the prescriptions and the standards which are given by the major working group worldwide. Probably the most important one, I would say the most important one, is the IEC. IEC is the abbreviation that stands for International Electrical Committee. The working group, which is specifically talking about the stringing equipment, is the 61328. We have the big luck, the big pride to have our chief engineer being part of the working table, defining all the prescription and all the standards. So we are very aware about the technical specifications which are required to be in compliance with this. I take the occasion now to introduce Mr. Alberto Oscar, who is our chief engineer, as I said before, who can give some quick points about which are the key factors which make the machines in compliance with such prescriptions. Alberto, hai voglia di fare 2 o 3 riferimenti veloci?
Yes, of course. Good afternoon to everybody. Good morning for my colleague here in Italy, of course. And I beg your pardon if I don't make a video of myself, but I have a very poor communication and I am obliged to keep the video off in order to stay in contact with everybody. Very few words on this question. The IEC TR61328 is a technical report. TR means technical report. What does it mean? What means that is a general recommendation. It's not a standard, is not an obligation, but is a general recommendation. And together with the IEEE 524, that is emitted by the US-based IEEE Council, is the worldwide document on recommendation of stringing equipment character. The last revision was performed and published in 2017, so 3 years ago. And some key point that I want to point out as Amos' request is that for tensioner and puller tensioner, this technical report required to have at least 4 or more grooves per each subconductor on the bullwheel. You can use more conductor, 2, 3, 4 bundle conductor, 6 bundle conductor in a single bullwheel in case of using of a single machine, what we call single tensioner. But always you have to provide for each subconductor 4 grooves at least. This is because the technical report recommended to have a very gradual variation of the pulling line, of the pulling force on the conductor, that you can achieve by using at least the 4 grooves. If you use a few grooves, with a high friction coefficient on the bullwheel material, you can put in risk the integrity of the conductor. The other question is the bullwheel material. Polyamide and thermally chemical treated steel minimize the friction, and they are the best solution to treat the conductor in the best way and to reduce the possibility of burr caging or damage to the conductor. And one other important requirement is that it is suggested to have a mechanical connection between the two pair of bullwheels. What does it mean? It means that the two bullwheels must be driven by a single pinion that engage on both bullwheels. And this is in order to grant as much as possible, or better, to grant absolutely the same speed of each bullwheels, in order to not transfer to the conductor or the rope or whatever material stringing on the bullwheels the difference of speed or the difference of torque that is related to the two bullwheels. What else? For the pulling rope, the technical report recommend a safety factor of 3 for steel rope and 5 for textile rope. Based on this requirement, all the products of Tesmec are designed keeping in mind this safety factor. So all the product that you have in a stringing line, starting from the rope to the blocks, to the swivel joint, fixed joint, blocks, everything is dimensioned to respect this safety factor. So the working load that Tesmec recommend for each product is based on a safety factor 3 related to the breaking load. Okay, of course, the pulling rope must be no twisting capability and other point. In the field of blocks, the technical recommendation 61328 implement a new concept that is what you see in the far part of the far right side. That is what they call it the roller. So it's an alternative to traditional blocks, where a very large radius is required. And this is particularly implemented and used in case of conductor high temperature low sag, what they are called HTLS conductor. There are different typology and different manufacturer of this conductor, but one of the most important requirements is to have a very large equivalent radius when passing on blocks, and the same is applied also for tension. Gianluca, if you go add one page, please. Gianluca Ramos, I don't know who is controlling. Okay. Another comment, and this is not related to the IC technical report recommendation, but just to highlight how much Tesmec is involved in research and application. Tesmec registered in more than 65 years of activity, more than 30 patents on specific application or specific part of the machine or of the product. In particular, Tesmec introduced the modular machine concept, and there is a patent approved. And Tesmec introduced in the market what we call an helicopter machine, so a tensioner that can work with the helicopter working as a puller at very high speed, up to 20 kilometers per hour, for example. And Tesmec has got also some patent pendings on, for example, the new concept of the roller, the pivoting array block that we have in the new catalog, and in the digital stringing machine. So Tesmec is very involved in research and development and registering and protect the know-how all over the world. Okay, go ahead. Puoi procedere tu adesso, Amos, che è commerciale?
Sì, faccio io. Okay, during the next slides, there will be other technical, let's say, points. So
I will enter when you require my.
Yeah, Alberto can jump anytime he deems fine for further explanation. This slide is giving an overview of what we provide as TESMEC. This is just taking the configuration of how the new catalog is proposed. So we developed 11 sections. It is based on solutions concept. So each section is providing the products and the items required to satisfy the target of specific solution indeed. So if you want to have a bigger vision of this catalog, our friends from Trimitra can provide on soft copy and on paper copy as well. Gianluca, if you go to the next slide, we can show how we provide our proposal. So what TESMEC does is manufacturing, okay, first design, manufacturing, and then sell machines and equipment for all the applications you see on the screen now. The big point from TESMEC is that we are the only manufacturer worldwide doing everything by ourselves. So machines and all the tools needed to string are done by us, which is proof of internal quality, which is proof that the process is done in the proper way, which is proof of the origin of the goods. We just have a very small percentage of the tools which we just resell, but they are, let's say, like side tool, like cutters, like ZEG scope. So it is 3% of our portfolio, let's say. Everything is part of the kinematic chain, which is what is between the puller and the tensioner, is done by us. What we provide is are goods suitable to do what you see. So tower erection, new power construction, which is of course where we start from. But power line refurbishment as well, which is the reconductoring, in other words, which is becoming more and more an important activity, because everywhere in the world, you know, it is starting the renewing of the network. So we have specific solution for that. But we have solution for many other specific needs. So you see helicopter stringing, which is a very spatial application, which is required in difficult areas when there is no easy access, where the road is difficult to go in. We can provide solution for OPGW installation as well. And last but not least, we have a complete solution for underground cable laying, which is, we can say, a more poor brother, we call it, compared to the overhead application, because from technical point of view, technology is not that, you know, high level, we can say. So the safety issues are not that tough. But nevertheless, it is very important for us, because we see everywhere in the world people try to put more and more high voltage cable underground, even more in those places where there is no space. So basically in the big cities, basically in those countries where the Green Party is not giving easily access to build, you know, new stringing equipment, stringing network overhead. So it is becoming, looking at the high voltage application, so say 110 kV up, is becoming an important part of the overall cake. Vai alla prossima slide, Gianluca, per favore. Now we can talk a bit about the trends that the market is facing. So far, stringing faced, let's say, an evolution but it was based on what happened so far. So there haven't been those real revolutions. Okay, now in these days, in these years, we are indeed facing some new jumps, and these new jumps are led by some changes in the market indeed. One of these change is taking in consideration the conductors. As you know very well, as you are contractors and PLN is owning the network, so who better than you? You know that so far the conductors have mostly been ACSR or AAAC, which is aluminum conductor steel reinforced, all aluminum alloy conductors, which are the ones who were in the market for 50, 60 years, we can say. Starting from the last 10, 15 years, a new generation of conductors came, which are called the HTLS, high temperature low sag, which are the ones providing the capacity of increasing massively the possibility to bring energy, taking in consideration the same size. So with the same conductor, with the same size, these conductors are able to bring more energy, which is, giving very high benefits to the network without changing the hardware. The point is that such conductors are let's say, quite special even from a managing point of view, because they need to have a much bigger care about how to string, about how to treat them. Basically, they are requiring two issues. The first, they require not to have that big stress from, let's say, torsional point of view. And also, they require to have a much bigger radius where to be strung. This is leading the machines to be much bigger than before. So, you know, the tension and the puller tension at the moment, the standard is 1.5 meters, okay? But thanks to the introduction of these new conductors, the machines are becoming bigger because the manufacturer of these conductors require to have, let's say, a bigger radius in order not to stress them. Thanks to this, because of this, our machines are becoming bigger. So we jump from 1.5 meters to 1.7 meters. To 1.8, to 2 meters, 2.1 meters. Alberto, dimmi se dico sciocchezze, ma siamo arrivati fino a 2 metri e 3, 2 metri,
2.4 meters.
We are running up to 2.4, corretto Gianluca?
Okay, 2.4.
The biggest tensioner for a special application in Norway, the crossing a very large conductor.
Okay. In addition to that, you see in the same page even reference to the array blocks. Which is the solution covering the same request, you know, to have a more flat path, let's say, in order not to stress conductors, but talking about pulleys. So same as the machines, even the pulleys must not stress these new conductors. In order not to stress these new conductors, there are two choices. First is go with huge pulleys, 1.2, 1.5 meters pulleys, or going to the array blocks, which is the new solution. The new solution is, whenever it's possible, the best one. Why? Because the big pulleys, huge pulleys, are enormous from size point of view, but even more, they are very heavy. So managing them in the job site is very difficult, is not easy. A few customers choose this anyway, which is a possible way, of course, but more and more we see people going into the array blocks direction. The difficulty of this world of the new conductor is that there is no standard valid for all of them, because this is still a new world. This is still a new way. So what is happening, we see in the world that every manufacturer has a kind of guideline. Okay, as TESMEC, we are in very touch with them. We can say that we know them all. So our way, our approach is cooperate with all of them in order that we know in order that we are aware and we are sure that our machines and our equipment is accepted from all of them. We are very proud to say that we are in compliance with most of them. We are in touch with all of them. Alberto can say many names. I put in the corner the CTC Global, which is one of them. CTC Global is from Lamifil, is a manufacturer of new conductors. Okay, we had a good experience in the UK and in a few countries. The specific conductors CTC require that. Sì.
Can I add?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes.
CTC is the global manufacturer for the ACCC conductor that you see is the third from the left. They are the manufacturer in particular of the carbon core and of the conductor, while CTC has got a series of cooperation or joint venture, or I don't know exactly the company status, but they establish a conductor manufacturer all over the world, covering specific regions. And this conductor, for example, in Europe is Lamifil. This conductor manufacturer can manufacture the ACCC conductor using the carbon core provided by the CTC. We have quite a good relationship with CTC. I know some of the project managers at CTC, and we have been visited by representative of CTC in TESMEC a couple of years ago. We established with them since quite many years a relationship in terms of cooperation, finding solution. And for example, if you go in the CTC installation specification, you can see picture of TESMEC equipment. You can see some solution like what we call the banana roller, that is the roller installed on the back part of the tensioner, guiding the conductor from the reel stand to the buoys, has been developed by TESMEC following a specific CTC requirement. So basically we are, this is just to say that TESMEC is also working both in international committee, but also as a personal reference with most of the conductor manufacturers all over the world. Thank you, Amos.
Right, and just talking about the CTC, then we jump quickly, otherwise we go late. The CTC have in their range one conductor which is called the Monte Carlo, which is 21.78 millimeter, if I'm not wrong, with the carbon core, as Alberto was talking about. The requirement from CTC is to have the bull wheel diameter 70 times bigger than the core, than the carbon core. And this, the carbon core, I don't remember what was the specific dimension of the core itself, but at the end of the story, the minimum dimension of the bull wheel was at the end 1.78 meter. So, you know, this is just an example that we are giving to show you that the world is probably going that way. So new conductors are coming and the machines and the equipment must follow, and we are ready for that. We know that Indonesia already had some experience with the ACCC conductors. We are ready. We are ready for that. So should this be the way, even in Indonesia, for the near future, we have machines, we have rollers, we have gripping clamps, we have socks, presses. We are aware about all the specification required to satisfy these needs. Gianluca, vai avanti, per favore, se no qui non finiamo più. These are just an examples of our R&D solutions. Okay, so in order to be in compliance and be aware with all the requests coming from the world, we have a big R&D department which is trying to follow all these inputs. On the right side of the page, you see the CLP, which is one of our latest solution. Very specific one, which is strictly related to the reconductoring side. I know Indonesia is still, let's say, looking more, let's say, on the new networks. But still you had some requirements for the reconductoring, because I'm aware that the PLN is in any case replacing some conductors, old ones, trying to put the new ones. So this could be a great solution to cut dramatically the time needed to finish the job. According to our simulation and according to the partnership we had with a National Grid, which is the PLN in UK, okay, we can say, the time saving can be up to 40% compared to the traditional solution. Alberto, se vuoi dire due parole rispetto al CLP, può essere una buona occasione.
Okay, the CLP, continuous linear puller, is a, let's say, a revolution in the field of reconductoring. Is a machine that is designed with the base concept of 4 machines in 1. Why? Because we have a pulling unit that is not made by buoys, but is made by what we call traction wheels, a series of traction wheels that pull the old conductor. There is a cutting module inside the machine that cut is longer, less than 10 centimeters approximately. There is a conveyor belt that moves this cutting part to an external skip or container. And there is a manual winch, a single drum winch in the front of the machine in order to operate all the preliminary and releasing operation to bring the conductor, to put the conductor inside the machine. The most important benefit of the continuous linear puller compared to a traditional puller tensioner is the fact that when a mid-span joint arrives in front of the machine, the CLP can manage the mid-span joint, and the mid-span joint can pass directly to the machine and can be cut by the cutting module, while in a traditional puller tensioner, the mid-span joint has to be cut and removed in front of the machine. So with an operation that requires to anchor the conductor, to cut it, to remove it, to put mesh of joint, to pass over the conductor, remove again the mesh of joint, to recover them and restart the operation. So the gain of 40% of the activity of the time of reconductoring operation is basically related to the fact that every mid-span joint or repairing joint or dead anchor tower bypass on everything that arrive in front of the CLP can be managed by the CLP without a stop.
Yes. What is this slide about? Okay, this slide is giving the introduction to the 4.0 machines. I will try to go quick, otherwise we jump. Other market trends. Gianluca, se volevi parlare qualcosa rispetto alla slide precedente, c'erano
No,
i carrozzi
credo che
nuovi,
non abbiamo
c'erano...
tempo. I would go with the generation 4 machines, just to give you a quick overview, otherwise we will go out of time. This is our new control panel of the machine. So what you see on the screen now is replacing on the new machines what we used to be the control panel of the previous machine. So you can see how simple it is. It is a screen with the 10 buttons. It is extremely simple to be used, and the machine is got a lot of automatic system to, let's say, avoid mistakes, to increase the safety, and also to have a full diagnostic of the machine itself on board, and also if required on remote by a system that we can install on the machines. So all these machines are coming with the remote control by radio. So you see in the picture, it is a very modern radio remote control with its own screen, giving the main information to the operator. So the operator can drive the machine from far away, fully controlling the machine, every operation of the machine. This will allow to have a better, let's say, overview, so to see better the line, to have less noise being far from the machine. So generally speaking, to have a remote, it is being more safe for the operator. The fleet management is what we call the remote monitoring system. It is a system on board the machine that is with the GPS system is able to sniff all the information from the machine, stringing information, data, and to send them on a cloud that is accessible by the service or by the customer, the owner of the machine, that can have an access to the machine, having all this information that you see. So geolocalization of the machine, control of the machine, maintenance, proactive maintenance, and also very reliable, let's say, service of the machine, where we can, let's say, predict if there can be a problem on a machine to avoid the stops on the job site. So this is a kind of new way of managing the equipment, managing the machines, and in general the fleet, in case a company would have many machines. This system can also give reporting every week, for example, of what the machine has done and this kind of thing. So it's really a different way, very much more modern to manage this equipment.
Yes, Gianluca, we can say it is a revolution basically, because it is providing a more safe approach. So the new system is able to guide the operator in much better way, minimizing the risk of any wrong operation to be taken. It is providing more information, okay? But more than that, it is providing a different way to show the information. So the information are more clear, are making the operator and the project manager and the people to know in advance what is happening, thanks to the remote monitoring. So with remote monitoring, you can see everywhere you are with the laptop, with the smartphone, with tablet, what is happening everywhere. Okay, provided that there is a coverage with the signal. So we can say it is a really big revolution of the approach of the fleet management. We already sold hundreds of that, of such kind of machines everywhere, in Indonesia as well. It is becoming more and more required. Of course, we still have, let's say, the standard range. So we are not killing the previous machines, which are still available, but the new machines are becoming more and more a standard. So you see here in the slide the places, a few examples of the countries that we sold these machines to. We started in 2015 with the pilot projects, Thailand and France, a few of them. We saw the results, which were very good ones. The reliability was excellent. The panel is not touch screen, because with the touch screen is not fully reliable. So at the end of the day, we choose to go with the plastic button, high resistance one, of course, as we saw that the touch screen was not, at that time, fully compliant with the humidity, with the dust, etc., etc. So we very push on that, and we believe this year will become the standard in the very near future. Okay, prego Gianlu, vai avanti.
Okay, I think we can go quick here in these slides. After sale, okay, this slide about our partnership that is also all related to the R&D that we already given some information about what we do, technical committees like IC and university and so on. So I would go fast here. Some experience also here, many experience all over the world, because we are selling equipment in more than 100 countries. So of course we get information and feedback from very different countries and different conditions, and this is also strength for us to design the equipment that is able to work in any kind of condition. For that reason, we have started testing this new 4.0 technology since 5 years, because we want to 100% sure of reliability of this system, because we cannot put in the market something without knowing that maybe after 6 months we'll start having problems. So this is our mentality. So we have made a testing of this equipment in all different conditions to be sure that it was extremely strong.
Gianluca, maybe it is good to say that in our let's say in our statistics, we see that our machines normally last 25 years. Okay. In many situations, I saw machines much longer than that. I remember with our friends from Dalekovod in Croatia, they still have machines coming from the end of the 60s, but it is not so unusual to see machines still working from the 70s. But okay, let's take 25 years. Our new machines 4.0 surely will not suffer from any degradation of this number, because the components are still, let's say, coming from the same technology as our previous machines. So the big difference of these new machines is just how the information is provided. There are more information because there are more gauges, there are more, let's say, data acquisition, but the real revolution is how the information is provided. And this is not suffering of any, let's say, critics. I mean, not any sensitive point in addition of what we saw so far. So please don't connect this, let's say, 4.0 concept linked to a more critical way of, let's say, reliability or durability. Because this will have exactly the same performance as our standard machine. We did very long tests, of course, so all the information we provided and we got from our customers so far, from the 400 machines that we sold so far, give exactly the same performance as the standard machines. Prego Gianlu, se vuoi continuare.
Very quickly, this is an example of a very interesting project in China. This was maybe not the first one, but the first one of this at this scale of using the helicopter tensioner. So a specific machine able to string at very high speed, with the puller being the helicopter itself. So this machine has the ability of stringing at high speed also directly the conductor itself. So in some, I would say, specific conditions, this is a revolutionary system to make the stringing. In this case, it was a very long span of a kind of crossing with towers extremely high. I don't remember how much, maybe Alberto, maybe 380 meters. Yes, it is there. So it was a very, very interesting project, but very specific also. Generally, this is another big project in Norway with utility Statnett, where again, fjord crossings with special machines, detachable solutions, and for helicopter transportation of everything on site. So the site where there is no access to the site, so everything must be taken by helicopter, and also the machine itself must be detachable, because we are talking about big machines. So you are obliged to have detachable equipment to be transported and installed by helicopter.
Just to be a little bit more detailed, Gianluca, in the, now go back, please.
Here,
go back.
Norway.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
In the last, in the right bottom side, you can see a 16-ton puller that is made basically by 5 different parts that you can transport by helicopter. The 2 bull wheels can be transported separately, so they can be easily dismounted and transported. The base frame and the power pack divided into parts. Everything can be reassembled by using just the helicopter as a sky crane, a flying crane. You don't need any crane on site to do this operation. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Gianluca, maybe about, we have 2 more slides for this before we get into the Q&A.
Yes, yes, we are finished. I mean, this also is another project with our utility here in Italy, but I know that we are very late, so we can go directly to the Q&A if you want. I believe
just two free slides about
bit...
Indonesia. Go back, Gianluca,
yes,
very quickly. Go back to the previous slide, please, which is showing the showing a green screen. Okay, this is the history from from TESMEC in Indonesia. So we are there for a very long time. We start here in this line with 1990. But with our machines, we were there even before. So in the 80s, in the 70s and the 80s, contractors were mostly foreign ones, for ABB, for example, Siemens, whatever. They brought our machines there. 1990 is the year where we can say the market opened to your local contractors. For example, Balfour Beatty, Sakti, Indonesia at that time, for example, Bukaka at that time, and slowly many other came. So starting from that point, that year, as TESMEC, we jumped there with the local representative, which have been Sicamindo for a very long time, Mr. Sukanta Sutardi. I'm sure that you all know him. Thanks to his support, thanks to our effort, we reinforced our leadership in Indonesia for a long time. We got the peak of, let's say, performance thanks to PLN project, which was part of the 35,000 megawatt project, acceleration project. PLN purchased a big quantity of stringing equipment in 2016, November 2016 was that time. As TESMEC, we provided 25 sets out of the 40 they purchased, which was a very big honor for us. And thanks to that, our presence in Indonesia is even stronger. At the moment, we have around 200 machines currently in operation over there. In 2019, with great pleasure, we started our cooperation with our friends from Trimitra, with Pak Rianto and Pak Albin. our friend Pak Sukanta decided to retire. So thanks to him for his good cooperation. And now, thanks to what we did so far, we are much open and very ready to face all new challenges from Indonesia, which is a big market, a booming one. You are building networks everywhere. La slide successiva, Gianluca. Thanks to the PLN experience, we showed our capability to provide a big quantity of machines and equipment. You see here a few pictures taken from that experience of machines and the pulleys. It was 25 sets. Each set had 160 pulleys. Each set had 40 or 50 kilometers of pulling rope. We were able to satisfy the request from PLN, which was asking a very challenging requirement to have machines and goods delivered in 210 days, basically 7 months. We were able to cut the delivery time of 50%. So we gave the proof of our capability to satisfy these big inquiries in very short time, thanks to our manufacturing department, which is a really huge one, with the 8 manufacturing facilities of our group worldwide. Vai alla prossima slide, per favore, Giallo, che chiude tutto. And in our PLN experience, but not PLN only, of course, with all contractors, we provide not only machines and goods, but as part of our package, we provide training and education. Here you can see a few pictures taken from the PLN experience. Part of the contract at that time was to provide training to people, to PLN people. At the end, it was, if I'm not wrong, 70 people, 75 people. We provide to all of them a kind of diploma, so an official statement that these people are able to maintain and to work on our machines. So this is very usually required to all our customers. So please don't consider us only as provider of machines and goods, but provider as of services. So consultancy, education, training, job site management, and so on. We are full of references, and we will be extremely happy to consider all your new requests in the future. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you, Gianluca, Amos, and Alberto. I will maybe summarize a bit in Indonesia first for them, some of the key points. Jadi sekarang terima kasih Amos, Gianluca, sama Alberto sudah memberi kita semua sharing knowledge ya. Saya akan berikan sedikit summary dalam bahasa Indonesia mengenai presentasi tadi. Jadi sebenarnya key takeaways-nya adalah TESMEC, mungkin saya full screen-kan dulu. Oke. Mungkin sebenarnya pada intinya TESMEC memiliki 4 business unit, yaitu stringing, railway, kemudian energy automation, kemudian juga trencher ya. Dan dia ada beberapa production plant untuk di Italia, di USA, di Prancis juga ada. Nah ini 1960 dia mulai untuk paten stringing machine mereka. 1960 itu Edison patent dan mereka adalah pertama untuk develop stringing machine ya. Kemudian ini mengenai energy automation sedikit, kemudian ada project-projectnya, dan ini railway ya. Kemudian mungkin yang satu lagi yang mau saya highlight adalah mengenai ini, IEC 61328. Nah, IEC 61328 ini adalah general recommendation ya, rekomendasi untuk stringing. Ya, apa saja yang harus digunakan, seperti misalnya harus groove-nya lebih dari 4 per subkonduktor. Jadi misalnya 140 kN, ada 4 konduktor, harus groove-nya ada biasanya 16. Ya. Kemudian ada juga untuk recommendation untuk mengenai blok-bloknya dan rollernya, yaitu bisa lihat di IEC 61328. Kemudian, nah ini beberapa new market trend untuk TESMEC, mereka selalu berinovasi. Jadi beberapa tahun ini kami lagi sering mendapatkan proyek AC3 ya, atau HTLS, High Tension Low Sag Conductors. Nah, untuk HTLS konduktor ini ada guideline sendiri dari CTC. CTC itu adalah produsen untuk core-nya, fiber core-nya. Nah, ini mereka ada mengeluarkan guideline sendiri untuk nge-string CTC itu, untuk nge-string konduktor HTLS itu, yaitu bull wheel, diameter bull wheel-nya dibandingkan konduktor bull wheel harus 40 sampai 45 kali lebih besar ya. Jadi dari 35 jadi 45, dan juga hard bull wheels itu rekomendasi dari guideline CTC. Hard bull wheels ini jadi alas bull wheel-nya itu keras dibandingkan yang kayak karet, karena itu untuk meminimalisir bird cage effect, di mana bisa dia nge-stress konduktornya, kemudian core-nya itu sangat delicate ya, jadi gampang retak. Makanya dia harus hard bull wheel. Nah, kemudian juga ada guideline untuk array block-nya harus diameternya jauh lebih besar, radiusnya jauh lebih besar ya untuk ini. HTLS. Kemudian mungkin mengenai mesin baru ada CLP khusus untuk reconductoring, continuous linear puller. Nah, ini ada beberapa mesin jadikan satu gitu. Jadi bisa menarik konduktor lama dan nge-string konduktor baru. Dengan mid span join-nya bisa langsung dipotong sekalian di situ. Nah, ini semua dalam mesin CLP ini. Kemudian beberapa hal yang mau saya highlight mengenai 4.0 adalah yang semua, misalnya joystick, kemudian ada knob-knob. Nah, ini semua di dalam 4.0 adalah diganti menjadi seperti iPad ya, tapi bukan touchscreen. Tombolnya di samping sini. Dia seperti automatic machine ya jadinya. Semua dalam iPad situ kontrolnya. Kemudian bisa juga dari radio control. Radio control ini manfaatnya tidak usah dekat sama mesinnya, jadi operasi bisa beberapa 10-20 meter ya, dari 10 meteran dari actual mesinnya. Kemudian lebih aman untuk para operator untuk operate mesin ini. Kemudian ada juga yang mau saya highlight lagi adalah di 4.0 ini ada GPS, jadi Bapak Ibu dari kantor pusat bisa lihat mesinnya sekarang berada di mana. Kemudian ada monitoring seperti parameter sudah berapa meter ditarik, kemudian mereka berapa KN menariknya, speednya berapa. Nah, ini sangat membantu juga untuk teknisi kami, jadi bisa langsung dari kantor mengecek gitu apa masalahnya, misalnya sedang ada kendala apa, bisa langsung hubungin kami langsung cek dari sini masalahnya apa aja yang muncul. Ya, jadi itu sangat membantu Bapak Ibu juga. Sebenarnya itu saja kesimpulan dari TESMEC tadi. Kemudian kita akan masuk ke sesi Q&A. Okay. Hi, Amos. We will go into the Q&A session now. So I think you are muted.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So first question is from.
I should be fine now.
Yep. PLN UIP Kalimantan Tengah. He's asking, does TESMEC have rollers made from fiber? Because they've seen the 3 pulley rollers made of steel that is very heavy.
Ok, Alberto, vuoi dire qualcosa tu riguardo?
Honestly speaking, I don't understand the request. Can you?
Oh. So does TESMEC have rollers made from fiber?
I can reply.
Okay.
Maybe you mean metallic, non-metallic rollers, pulleys.
Yes.
That today
pulleys,
we have
no
our
rollers.
Standard. Okay, bye Alberto.
Okay, we have our tradition is to have blocks, pulleys made by casting aluminum in solid pieces, so in only one part, and this is our tradition. Recently, Tesmec has got also the possibility to provide blocks made by nylon wheels, nylon pulley. I have to be honest, they are not manufactured by Tesmec. We source in Far East, and we can deliver, and we have them in the new catalog page, in the new catalog that we just released. If you mean the rollers, the pivoting area block are designed even then with the casting aluminum, and we decided to keep this solution, so casting aluminum wheels and even casting aluminum sheave for the blocks, just because we can provide different material depending on the request of the customer. If you buy a nylon sheave, you have only a nylon sheave stock. There are situations in which you can use aluminum sector just for conductivity or grounding situation. There are situations in which you can put nylon, neoprene, or you can put special material like cast iron or steel in the central wheel where the steel rope is passing on a bundle blocks. So we consider the solution having casting versatile and can cover all the different requests by changing the sector, the interchangeable sector. Having a single sheave made by nylon is only one material, only one solution, not flexible, but is a solution that now we have in catalog. Gianluca?
Yes, it's for sure a solution that we have, which is lighter and especially more economic. So of course, today we have implemented this in our catalog because we understand there are different requirements in different countries, and we don't want to have only one solution. We try to split and to have always a couple of different options for different markets.
Okay, thank you. Next question, maybe I can answer. Apakah Tesmec bisa menyiapkan puller engine dalam part yang bisa di knockdown? Oke, mungkin untuk ini Pak Kunto tidak bisa, jadi harus beli mesin yang bisa detachable. Mungkin ada di katalognya yaitu detachable machine, dia bisa di-detach istilahnya. Cuman untuk mesin sekarang tidak bisa yang mesin yang sekarang sudah punya ya, misalnya hydraulic tensioner atau puller. Next question, Amos. Maybe simple answer is fine too. Is the IEC technical report generally applicable for overhead transmission line stringing to the contractor, or do we need a specific contractual clause to enable proper application of stringing?
Alberto can say something more about that. As far as I know, very quickly, what I know is IEC is an international prescription, okay, which is giving a kind of guideline, but every country has a kind of specific additional standard to apply. So, Alberto, se vuoi dire qualche cosa a questo riguardo.
The IEC is, as I told before, is a technical report, has an international validity, and is a guideline, a suggestion. Is not a specific standard to be followed.
Okay.
It depends on PLN, if PLN want to put in the specification of the project that equipment must be complied to IEC technical report. This is something that PNL can be free to put in the general prescription. As I told, is a technical report, is not a standard, so is a recommendation of characteristic of the stringing equipment.
Okay.
So, in other words, this document is giving indication about what is the safest way to string, okay? Then it is not a rule, because the rules are, let's say, enforced by each country, but we are seeing more and more utilities worldwide which is recalling this standard. For example, I'm taking care about Pakistan market, just for a case. And when the NTDC, which is the Pakistan utility, issued recently a tender, which was recalling this IEC prescription. So just to give you this idea to say that this is not a must, but this is more and more used and recalled as it is giving the certainty which the job is done in the proper way. So it's matter about machines, about the pulleys. It is giving prescription how much the pulley must be bigger compared to the dimension of the conductor. It says where to put the drum elevators. So it is giving suggestion how the stringing should be done. This is for sure.
Just to reply to the question exactly, yes, of course, the contractor itself can apply the IEC if they want. There are a lot of our customers that are by themselves deciding to follow this technical report, even if the utility is not requiring it. So it is absolutely okay. It is a matter of safety and of quality of the infrastructure.
Okay. Maybe we have time. Jadi kita akan menjawab mungkin 1 atau 2 pertanyaan lagi dan sisanya akan saya jawab membalas Bapak ya lewat WA atau email. Saya akan menghubungi Bapak lewat situ. Next question, what is the accuracy of the overhead line tensioner load cell in terms of kilogram? Load cell in terms.
Okay, I think I have to reply.
Yes, you
Tesla
think
machine,
right.
Tesla machine are not designed with a load cell, so a specific device that measures the tension applied to the bull wheels. We have this application in a different solution in a railway, for example, railway catenary stringing, but we don't apply in overhead because it's not so easy to provide and to put. But what I want to say is that in developing the Ford Artor, so the new digital machine, we implemented a lot of paradigm and algorithm in the software, and we are able to work with a precision that can be closer to 5-6% to the adjusted or set pull. So we are very, very close to a very, very deep precision. In some machine where we have a load cell, like underground puller, where we put a load cell in a pulley, in a guiding pulley on the rope, we reach a precision of 3-4%. So we have just far away a couple of percent point from a load cell application, and we consider for general overhead stringing more than reliable and more than adequate.
Okay. Thank you for your answer. I think we're running out of time here, so maybe I will email you the rest of the questions unanswered.
Yes, please.
Go from there, and then I will contact them by myself. I will email them the answers to the questions. Oke, Bapak Ibu, karena untuk mempersingkat waktu kita udah melewati nih, kita akan langsung masuk ke quiz. Nah, untuk quiz kita akan gunakan www.menti.com. Silahkan, mungkin akan saya taruh di chat. Oke. Share screen. Oke. Ya. Kita akan gunakan www.menti.com. Kodenya adalah 151610. Nah, kita akan berikan hadiah ke 5 pemenang yang menjawab pertanyaan terbenar dan tercepat ya. Jadi dan juga untuk mohon Bapak Ibu gunakan nama asli supaya kita bisa cek dalam list registrasi dan hubungi Bapak di situ. Lewat situ. Jadi bagi Bapak yang belum Yang belum registrasi, silakan registrasi dulu di www.trimitraelectric.com/events. Nah, akan saya tunggu mungkin 5 menitan untuk Bapak Ibu join. Oke, sambil nunggu join bisa saya tunjukkan bagaimana cara registrasi. Untuk registrasi silakan ke www.trimitra.com/events. Ya, kemudian di sini Bapak Ibu bisa lihat sesi-sesi kita dari hari pertama sampai minggu depan, sesi terakhir, dan registrasi di bawah sini. Ya, cukup registrasi sekali saja. Kita akan langsung WA Bapak Ibu link untuk join minggu depan. Dan materi presentasi juga akan dikirim lewat situ. Sudah 43 orang, kita akan nunggu lagi, mungkin semenitan lagi ya. Baru setengahnya yang ikut. Oke. Pak Sugiarto, silakan Pak. Terima kasih sudah bergabung untuk sesi ini. Jangan lupa Pak, minggu depan ada sesi lagi, tanggal 18 ya, hari Senin. Oke, kita akan mulai. Sebentar lagi, mungkin 30 detik lagi akan saya tunggu sebelum saya mulai.
Michele, ciao, sono in call, ti chiamo fra 5 minuti, posso? Grazie, ciao.
Oke, saya akan mulai. Full screen. Oke. Pertanyaan pertama. Di bawah ini mesin stringing yang dikhususkan untuk pekerjaan reconductoring adalah continuous linear puller, CLP, puller, atau tensioner. Ini mungkin udah saya menjelaskan dan juga Amos menjelaskan mengenai mesin CLP ini. 20 detik lagi. Tadi ada total 40 orang yang mengikuti kuisnya ya. Ingat ya, mesin stringing yang dikhususkan. Jadi semuanya di sini sebenarnya bisa di reconductoring. Wah, 30 yang benar. Ya, yang jawaban yang benar adalah continuous linear puller. Nah, itu yang dikhususkan hanya untuk reconductoring, mana ada 4 mesin, dijadikan satu ya. Jadi konduktor lama ditarik, kemudian dia langsung nge-string konduktor baru sekalian memotong ada misalnya mid-span joint-nya dan lain-lainnya, dia sekaligus di dalam mesin linear puller. Kita lihat leaderboard, nomor 1, Pak Murdiono. Ini semua bedanya cuma 10 poin, nggak nyampe ya. Masih bisa dikejar semua ini, 5 pertama. Next. Pertanyaan berikutnya adalah, di bawah ini yang terdapat pada teknologi 4.0 di digital stringing machine adalah human machine interface, remote control unit, GPS system, atau semua benar. Ya, tadi saya juga sudah menjelaskan mengenai 4.0, apa saja fitur-fiturnya ya di mesin baru, mesin stringing baru dari TestMac. 20 detik lagi, kita akan melanjutkan ke pertanyaan berikutnya ya. Dan ingat, ini poinnya yang menjawab terbenar dan tercepat ya, yang akan mendapatkan skor lebih banyak. (35) benar. Ya, semua ada di dalam mesin 4.0 ya, GPS maupun remote control atau HMI semua ada itu di 4.0. Nomor 1 di Pak Arya. Wah, Pak Arya nomor 1. Tapi ini cuma bedanya 10-20 ya. Masih bisa dalam pertanyaan berikutnya nih. Masih bisa dikejar. Kemudian pertanyaan berikutnya. Standar untuk rekomendasi dari alat stringing dan aksesoris adalah IEC TR 61428, IEC TR 61328, atau IEC TR 61528. Tadi mungkin kita ada lumayan lama menjelaskan mengenai IEC, rekomendasi IEC Technical Report ini ya. Mungkin Bapak Ibu yang melihat presentasi dan mendengar, gampang nih menjawabnya. Ya, 10 detik lagi kita akan lanjutkan ke pertanyaan berikutnya. Wah, 27,5 ya yang benar ya. Lebih dari setengah. Nah, ini sedikit menjebak ya. Karena mirip-mirip. Dan kita lihat. Nomor 1 sekarang masih Pak Arya ya. Disusul oleh Pak Murdiono. Ketiga, Pak Pranoto. Keempat, Pak Arif Sustio. Dan kelima, Pak Tariko. Ya, ini masih bisa kejar semua ini. Dua pertanyaan lagi ya. Pertanyaan berikutnya, layanan purna jual yang ditawarkan Tesmac adalah machine startup dan customer support, original spare part supply and maintenance, inspection and repair, atau semua benar? Ini pertanyaan lumayan simpel ya. Mungkin tadi kita agak kepepet waktu, jadi mungkin ini hanya sebentar tadi topik mengenai layanan purna jual. 10 detik lagi, kita akan pertanyaan berikutnya yang terakhir. Yang benar adalah ya, semua benar. Kita yang ditawarkan dari Trimitra dan Tesmac, kita melakukan machine startup, kemudian customer support yang di bawah Pasidik, kemudian spare part supply dari kami juga, dan maintenance mesin, kemudian juga inspection and repair mesin, semua bisa Trimitra bantu ya. Nomor 1 sekarang masih sepertinya Pak Arya nih, masih nomor 1. Pak Arya sama Pak Murdiono nih masih saling ini nih. Kemudian masih ketiga Pak Oktariko, keempat Pak Anwar Sidik, kelima Pak Arif Susetio ya. Pertanyaan terakhir ya, ini masih bisa kejar nih Pak Pranoto, Pak Fakmi, Pak Rahmat Pratama, ini semua masih bisa kejar. Pertanyaan terakhir ya. Di bawah ini yang termasuk fitur dalam digital human machine interface kecuali apa saja? Ingin saya reward lagi ya, di bawah ini yang termasuk fitur dalam HMI ini adalah automatic machine and diagnostic feature, manual control machine, atau intuitive and immediate interface. Nah, ini sedikit trick question ya, bagi bapak-bapak, ibu-ibu yang menjawab ini harus benar-benar baca satu-satu, karena kita tidak bicara mengenai HMI tersebut, hanya sekilas. Nah, masih jauh. Betul sekali, manual control machine. Nah, itu di HMI itu tidak bisa ya, ini manual, karena itu semua otomatis di dalam HMI tersebut. Oke, kita lihat pemenangnya. Wah, Pak Arya masih nomor 1, kemudian kedua Pak Oktariko, ketiga Pak Pranoto, keempat Pak Anwar Sidik, kelima Pak Rahmat Pratama. Wah, nanti akan kami hubungi Bapak Ibu melalui list registrasi, ya. Kemudian mungkin saya akan touch sedikit mengenai sesi kami minggu depan. Besok. Besok kita ada sesi tersendiri mengenai training mengenai mesin stringing test Mac Bapak Ibu. Jadi belajar mengenai cara setup, cara operate, dan cara merawat mesin Bapak Ibu. Ya, di situ akan dibawakan oleh technical support kami, Pak Sidik. Jam 9 pagi ya. Jadi bagi Bapak Ibu yang belum registrasi, silakan ke www.trimitraelectric.com/training. Nah, di situ kami juga akan berikan free e-sertifikat bagi Bapak Ibu yang mengikuti training tersebut ya. Kemudian untuk sesi minggu depan kita ada sedikit perubahan schedule. Tadinya ini seharusnya tanggal 20, kita pindahkan ke hari Senin tanggal 18 ya, tanggal 18 Mei. Waktunya tetap sama, jam 2 sampai 3.30. Kita akan adakan Underground Cable Series yang akan dibawakan oleh Pavel, ya. Itu adalah International Sales Director dari Arkasil. Dia akan membawakan mengenai produk underground fitting. Ya. Jadi terima kasih banyak Bapak Ibu yang sudah mengikuti acara kami hari ini. Untuk materi dan untuk rekaman kami akan kirimkan ke Bapak Ibu melalui WA. Dan juga terima kasih kepada Amos, Gianluca, sama Alberto sudah bisa bicara dalam sesi kami hari ini. Thank you Amos, Gianluca, and Alberto for today's webinar.
Thank you very much to all of you. It was really a great experience and I hope to be there soon. Okay, all the best to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you from my side. Thank you. Bye.
Grazie mille. See you soon. Bye bye. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.